السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. Man, we got I don't know what you want to call it, blockbuster on the edgy carpet. Crazy story, man. It's like the older I get, the more crazy they get. Wallahi, I introspected. I asked myself, like, I don't know, bunch of times these last 48 hours. I'm recording this today. It's Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. I'm here in South Boston, man. South Boston, brother. Roxbury. And the point of the story ain't the location, but how did I get here? So anyway, wallahi, my intention here is not to backbite, but it's to show when you doing Allah's work, when you striving for His way, you get tested by your next, brother, right, on your left and your right. The same people that's supposed to be your first line of defense. This is how they act. And then it get way harder when they think they got seniority status and you ain't nothing but a young blood and you can't tell them nothing. And it ain't about my personal preference. It's about, as Allah, He said, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ إِن كُنتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَحْسَنُ تَأْوِيلًا. Allah said it's unrestricted. If you ever disagree about anything in life, return it to the Quran and Sunnah. If you believe in Allah in the last day. So we claim we believe in Allah in the last day, but that would necessitate return to the Kitab and the Sunnah. So man, I left the Bay November 10th. It's been a little over 2 weeks. I flew to Boston, but that was not my destination. I was joining with some brothers that came in 4 months, Khuruj from Egypt. I didn't know who they was. I never heard of them before, but I was requested by some of the brothers in Queens, New York, that do the routing of the Jama'ahs, all that. Is like, yo, if you come, you spend time with them, it would be good. You could translate, So I'm like, cool. So I flew to Boston on November 10th. No, it was the 11th. I flew from the Bay on the 10th. I got to Boston on the 11th. I took an Amtrak for like 2.5 hours to this city called Portland, Maine. It's the southern tip of Maine, which is northeast of the U.S. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala, amma ba'd. So here it is, man. The story all y'all been waiting for. But the point of it, although it's a whole lot of, it's some laughter moments, it's some, crazy results. When somebody nifs get a hold of them, they can't control their anger, they got bad judgment, no poor logic. But before I get into the details, I just want to make some type of i'tibar and conclusions by introspection and reflection without trying to humiliate people, because this all could have been avoided if people did their part by Allah's will. And this, first and foremost, I want to say, because although I haven't seen people act this way and treat this way in my lifetime, but the theme has been very common. And the theme being, when somebody of elder age does not fulfill their duty and their responsibility and their wajib to others, and instead they perpetuate jahl, ignorance, and injustice and oppression, and then they ask other people for instead they want to be what they regard as respective elders. So instead of understanding, respect is not given, it's earned. So first and foremost, I'm not to take away the place that Islam gives respect to elders, but at the same time Islam is a deen of fairness and justice, and the older you are, the more responsibility you should have. It doesn't mean you get more pardon, more excuses, more immunity, because those same elders will yell and scold a little child that doesn't have full judgment and aql, and they also don't have taklif. The pen is not writing on that child, but that elder that's plus 60, 70, the pen been writing on them for Lord knows 50 something plus years, and they acting as if they gotta get in the Jannah free card. So these are some things that over the months and the years, hearing hearing texts related to this topic that made me realize it the day that this event happened. So one is that when a person lives a life of ignorance and lives a life of sin, in older age, they're not going to be able to actually enact and impart wisdom and impart good judgment, because why? Their heart is not in the state of that. And the abiyat that Imam Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, he mentioned, Taif al-Ma'arif, he said that Shaykhun Kabirun lahu dhunubun تعجيز عن حمل المطايا بيضت شعره الليالي وسودت قلبه الخطايا. He said that an old man, and I'm not here to pick who it is, but it's just take a lesson. An old man who has so many sins, the caravans could not carry it on their back because it's so much. And what did those sins do in effect? He said the nights or the years have turned that man's hair gray, and his sins have turned his heart black. Another part is a person can be of old age, but if they're ignorant, that's not going to lead them to get respect. It's not something that you get just for living without doing your part. And Al-Abiri, he mentioned rahimahullah in At-Ta'iyah that ستجني من ثمار العجز جهلا وتصغر في العيون وإن كبرت. He said he was advising a person who was younger in years, as his poem, those are familiar with, advises the person to use his young years for knowledge and to prefer the akhirah to the dunya. But he said that you will pick the fruit of laziness, or the fruit that you will pick of laziness will be ignorance. And then after ignorance, when you reach old age, you will become humiliated in the eyes of people. وَتَصْغُرُ فِي الْعُيُونِ وَإِنْ كَبِرْتَ. You will be humiliated in the eyes of people because of that ignorance. And I wish I could have asked him the meaning, Sheikh Dedo, Hafidhullah, but I saw a video where he was in a podcast. He quoted one of the abiyat of poetry from one of the scholars of Bilad al-Shanqit in Mauritania in the era of colonialism, where a lot of people thought that Islam was a backwards religion and we should, adopt the ways of the West and modernity and progress. But that scholar of that era, he mentioned that شكادين الهدى بمن دهاه بأيدي الجامدين والجاحدين شباب يحسبون أن الدين جهل وشيب يحسبون أن الجهل دينا. And he said that the religion of guidance, referring to Islam, complained of those that, Allah knows best what's the best translation, but those that didn't give it its full credit or its full respect and honor. That young people thought the religion was ignorance because they think everything is about, modernity and what current research has found and whatnot. Allah knows best. But he said the lesson, referring to the elder, and the elders thought that ignorance was the religion. So that's the little muqaddimah hurda', and I'll continue with the story after this, inshallah. So anyway, after that video that was introducing the challenges that happened before what I'm about to share, and wallah, I'm not trying to make you know, all the people at Tabligh look bad, or all the people from this person's country or culture look bad. But man, this was one for the ages, bro. But anyway, before this story, I want to share this lesson that the same person who was in charge of the group, I can't remember. I think it was Friday, because this event that I'm about to share happened on Sunday. And what's it called? He came to me. He was like, you know, Shaitan tries to, you know, divide the hearts before the group splits up right at the tail end. So we should forgive each other. I'm like, it's not about Shaitan dividing hearts. You have to have a responsibility for your actions. I'm here to speak about the misdeeds you did so you learn from it, so you don't earn sin. It's not about blaming Shaitan and saying we forgive each other. These are rights of Allah, rights of Allah, and you as a person should be more, you know, aware and attentive. So long story short, the group found out Saturday was like November 22nd. They had to go in the middle of the morning, 4 a.m. leave that city in northern Maine and go to Maryland by the end of by Sunday night, so that they could get on a carpool ride to North Carolina. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalam ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Alright, so continuing from the last segment, so we have to leave the city of Roanoke, Maine at like 4 a.m. Sunday, November 23rd, because the 3 elder men, 2 of them are in their 60s, 1 is in their 80s, got so many other bags, and the car sees 5 people, and with me it would be 4. I can't ride with them because if there's 4 people, there's not enough for the bags. So I already know they're gonna continue to Maryland after we get to the city called Portland, Maine, which is 2 hours south of where we left Sunday morning. I'm hoping that they can get there on their way easily, but being, by Allah's tawfiq, somebody who's younger and more able, I have to catch a train ride from Portland, Maine to Boston, and then from Boston I had a flight that was going to fly to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, and then once the group drives from Maryland down there, somebody's going to pick me up, which would have been yesterday, Tuesday the 25th. So when we in Maine, I had like a little bit of my personal belongings, enough for that little, you know, stay we were supposed to be gone, about like 10 or almost 2 weeks. So I had a little bit of clothes and stuff for that trip, and the main bags that I brought with me on the flight were staying in Portland, Maine with you know, a trustee, and the group knew they was gonna meet that person, pick up the suitcases, pack the car, and then go down to Maryland. So we get to Portland, Maine, I don't know, a little before 8 a.m. that morning. Somebody, mashallah, Allah reward him, had breakfast ready for them. I was the first one out, so I could go move my stuff for the little 2-week trip into my suitcases and put it in the car so they could continue to Maryland. So I asked the Amir who owns the car, I'm like, yo, can I get your key so I can open the car and put my stuff? He's like, I just want to pray for 2 minutes. I'm like, look, I already know how uptight y'all is about y'all schedule. If you give me the key, it'll save y'all time so I could start sooner. Instead of giving me the key, he came outside with me. So I take my bags out of the brother who held it in Portland, Maine's car, and then the stuff that was in the Amir's car, it was like literally very unorganized. It was very ineffectively packed, in the sense that you got all this trunk space, you got all this backseat space, and literally it's just full of tiny grocery bags with like 2-3 things in each one. I can't even count. It might have been like 25 grocery plastic bags. Generally, to be efficient with space, most of the groups I've been with, they keep something what they call a khidma box. It's like one of those kind of plastic chest containers, and you could fit all your stuff in there. You don't need a bunch of grocery bags. So I told that driver, I was like, look, before you pack the car the day before, don't put the smallest stuff into the trunk space and the backseat space, knowing you have to put suitcases in there. He literally said verbatim, he was like, you could pack it however you want. So mind you, this dude just wanted to pray. As soon as I asked him to open the car, he started tripping the fit. He's like, don't waste my time. I'm like, where's your time? Look who packed this car, and he's telling me to put my suitcases on top of these grocery bags. I'm like, it's gonna break it. That don't make no sense. So anyway, I'm packing my stuff in the other person's vehicle where my suitcases, it got more space. I can just put the stuff in there. I had like a camping backpack, I had a book bag, and I had like a little traveler carry-on roller. So anyway, this dude, the Amir, I told him don't touch my stuff that was in the car because it's just gonna waste time. I'm gonna put it in my bags in the other car, and I have to make space in his back seat. Stubbornly and arrogantly takes my stuff out of his back seat and puts it in his driver's seat. And I'm like, everybody know the rule, even in Islam, whether you're in Tabligh or not, but there's a rule, they mention you can't touch nobody's stuff without their permission. He still went on. And I'm talking to him, I'm like, look man, what kind of example is you setting? He not paying attention. He just keep doing. So anyway, I'm packing my stuff in the car, and the other guy who had like I think it was a Toyota, I don't know, it was a Honda CR-V. So the two other OGs from Egypt come out. I literally hear one of them, the one in his 60s, the one in his 80s, he was just doing dhikr. He don't mind nobody else's business. He talking to the driver, he like, yo, leave this guy. I'm like, wait a minute, is you really gonna do this to me in front of you? He's like, we gotta drive 10 hours. I'm like, look how selfish y'all is. I could have rode in this car if y'all packed this car the right way. But what happened? Y'all put up 25 grocery bags instead of condensing it. My bags don't even take as much space as your grocery bags. And I'm gonna ride a train, and I gotta take a flight. And I can't even get there in the same day. I get there 2 days later. So I was like, what happened to the hadith? لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you believes until he loves for his brother what he loves himself. I'm not even saying doing nothing. I was like, you should just be, sympathetic. Giving all these lectures and da'wah about the ummah of Islam is one and we should help each other. I'm like, I'm the same person in your group going out of his way to help y'all. And y'all over here talking about me, my nafs and I, bro. That's everybody. I mean, not everybody. But I feel like a lot of things people get cloudy when they want to talk about respect. It ain't got nothing to do with respect. It's me, my nafs and I. Just like As-Samiri said, كَذَلِكَ سَوَّلَتْ لِي نَفْسِي. After he innovated the children of Israel worshiping a gold staff, gold calf, they asked him, what do you do that for? He said, that's what my nafs did for itself. So anyway, I talked to the Amir. I'm like, I'm looking you right in your eye, because he would not give me eye contact. I was like, look me in my face. Tell me you're going to leave right now. He's like, what do you want us to do? I was like, sit there and stop yelling at me. Stop talking. I can't talk back to y'all and pack my bags. Y'all complaining about wasting time. I got to go through talking back to you. I got to go through unpacking your car and then repacking it. And y'all over here talking about I'm wasting your time. So long story short, after I packed my stuff, the Egyptian dude who was sitting with shotgun, he was like the younger one of the two in his 60s. He over here talking about you don't have adab. I was like, what are you talking about adab? You want adab and you over here doing zulm, injustice. You was putting something out of its place. You lack ilm, you lack aql, logic, you lack adab. And you over here talking about I should respect you and glorify you. What happened to all the other teachers in the religion? So then I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to keep it 100, but a lot of the people from the local masjid, we was in their parking lot, start coming that Sunday morning because the young children had Quran school, but none of the kids was outside at that moment. It was a bunch of Somali uncles because it was a Somali uncle. Then they see me, I was yelling, I was raising my voice, but it was within the scope of correcting their mistakes. So I was like, what's going on? What's happening? Don't let shaitan divide you. I was like, this ain't shaitan's fault, brother. I'm here knowing I gotta ride a train and a flight. Don't think because there's not space in the car, I'm mad because I can't ride. These people, the least they can do is save they akhirah, because whatever they're gonna say, they're probably gonna regret it. Save their time, sit down, be quiet, and just let me pack my bag. They tripping off of, oh, you're taking our time by putting your bag in our car. So he was like, what? That's what they're talking about? Man, you should leave these people. What kind of akhlaq they got, da, da, da. So anyway, now other people getting involved. They thinking like, yo, let's lower the tension. So I'm like, look, man, like no matter what a person's age is, they ain't gonna get a scoff off ride, immunity ride for their selfishness because of their age. Like what I ain't never seen in my life. I've been with people, different countries, different continents, different languages. I ain't never seen somebody that selfish talking about we're tripping because even though you gotta go a train and a flight and we sitting comfortably in our car and we packed the car wrong, we tripping because you taking time to put your bag in our car, even though I asked for the key before they even left the masjid and they was trying to delay. So then the Egyptian dude, bro, man, I know some Egyptians got some tempers. It's not all of them. I remember a time I was at a restaurant in Medina on the Jum'ah, where that place they call Suq al-Tabakh. It's like the area by Masjid Bilal with all of the restaurants. And it was an Egyptian restaurant, like the most busiest I seen on that street that day, Jum'ah, for customers. And literally, 2 Egyptian waiters get in a fist fight in the kitchen over some nonsense, bro. They just throwing fish over nothing in their own kitchen, bro, in their own restaurant. So this dude, he lost it, bro. He was like, don't talk. Wallahi, I was like in the middle of packing and teaching a lesson, and I was like surgical, like in the sense I wasn't throwing no insults, no curse words, but there's a famous couplet of poetry, Imam Shafi'i, he said, وَعَيْنُ الرِّضَى عَنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ كَلِيلَةٌ وَلَكِنَّ عَيْنَ السُّخْطِ تُبْدِي الْمَسَاوِئ. He said the eye of pleasure, you know when two people in love and they infatuated with each other, they don't see none of their own mistakes. He said the eye of pleasure, it is dull to any fault, but the eye of anger, when somebody is angry, all the faults come out. So for me, I was like, surge, and I'm talking to him in his own language. I'm speaking Fusha, he's speaking Aramiya. And then he's like, don't talk. I'm like, you expect me to be quiet, and you over here talking like a donkey? Like no logic, no sense. You complaining your time, and you over here screaming, and all I gotta do is pack my bags. Bro, this dude, he went off. He like, La tatakallam, don't speak. I'm like, I'm not even speaking to you. If I'm talking to anybody else but him, he over here trying to shut me up. It ain't even about me talking to him. So anyway, what happened, after I finished putting my things in my little camping backpack and my little roller, I go to the Amir, I'm like, he's blocking me from his trunk. And his trunk ain't got nothing in it but grocery bags. I've been told him, take that out, we put the suitcase on the bottom and put that stuff on top. It's plenty of space. He wasn't listening. I'm dead serious. I'm not exaggerating. I went in that man's trunk. He was standing there. I started throwing his own suitcase, not his suitcase, his sleeping bag on him. I started throwing clothes at him. I'm like, get to work. You over here with your actions stopping progress. We talking to you, trying to reason with you so you change your mind, and you over here doing nothing. La ilaha illa wa la ilaha illa. You're not looking for your benefit and getting out of my way, nor are you helping to get the solution done. So he's like, you don't have to throw nothing. I'm like, what you expect me to do? You blocking my way. You don't know how to pack a car. I'm gonna show you how. I took those bags out. I put my little book bag and my camping backpack on the bottom of the trunk. I put those bags on top. I said, you could at least roll your sleeping bag up. It's taking all this space, but you only think about yourself. And then I told him that quote, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together. I'm like, if you thought to work with other people, this would have been a lot easier. Then I went in the back seat where there was nobody riding, or the passenger seat behind the driver. I took those grocery bags off. I put my little carry-on roller, and then I put his bags on top. So then, what's it called? They was ready to go, and I'm talking to the OG who's sitting back seat that's like 80 something from Egypt. I'm like, look, uncle, I'm putting you as a wakil. There's 3 bags here, suitcases, or not suitcases, but that's like a traveler bag. I took the pictures, I texted it to the person that's waiting in Maryland so they make sure it get in the car, but make sure it get off this car, because I don't want to hear, oh, I forgot, or this person did, because I know this dude driving don't give a about my stuff, and I can't count on him. So I'm talking to the 80-year-old OG, and that other dude sitting shotgun, the Egyptian dude in his 60s, he was like, don't talk to him, and he mentioned the brother's name. I'm like, this man is in charge of himself. Huwa amiru nafsi, right? As the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in hadith, as-sa'imu amiru nafsi. When somebody's doing a voluntary fast, he's his own, like, he's his own decision maker, in the sense if somebody invites him to eat on a day he's fasting optionally, he can choose. Does he want to keep fasting or he's fast? So I said he's the Amir of himself. I didn't say he's the Amir of the Jama'ah, right? This Egyptian dude was so mad, bro. I ain't never heard in my life. Any person could have been brand new in the deen, brand new in the da'wah tabligh. This dude literally said, Ana al-Amir. He's like, I'm the Amir. I'm like, then that's when I start giving him a berating, bro. I started telling him in Fusha, I was like, Haniyan lak ya fulan. I'm not going to mention his name, I said his name. I was like, قطعت يعني مسافات, you done traveled all the way this side of the world, far distance, so that you could get yourself a title of Amir. You didn't come here to please Allah, you came here to please people. I was like, نعطيك قميصا مكتوبا عليه فلان أنا الأمير لأنك جئت لمدح الناس ولا تريد وجه الله. I was like, we're going to get you a t-shirt, we're going to write on it your name, I'm the Amir, because you came to please people, you didn't come to please Allah. So then, what's it called? He kept telling the dude behind him, don't talk to me. I was like, look, don't talk. He was telling the Egyptian guy, don't talk to him. I was like, look, I just need you to make sure they get there. So anyway, there was some other things that were said back and forth. Oh, I forgot about that. When I seen that Egyptian dude in his 60s going off a little bit before this was said, I straight up told him, I was like, Anta jahil. And no, in Arabic, jahil, it can be jahlul ilm or jahlul hilm. Even though it's known, he would admit himself he has jahlul ilm. But what I was referring to was jahlul hilm, when a person can't refrain their anger. Because, I forget which of the Jahili Arab poets, he said, Ala fala yajhalu alayna jahilun, or fala yajhalu jahilun alayna, فَنَجْهَلُ فَوْقَ جَهْلِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. He said, there should not be, or I hope there will not be, a person who lacks forbearance and loses his anger and acts that way with us, so that we, in response, act with more anger than he did with us. That's what I was referring to. So when he heard me call him Jahil, he was like, Anta Jahil, Anta Himar. Oh man, there was a seed, bro. So anyway, the car got packed. A little after that, they turned out in the parking lot. They get to the front of the masjid parking lot. They could have been on their way. They know how to go. They got the directions. They just parked right there at the mouth of the parking lot. So at first I was like, I don't know, maybe they need to catch a breath or something. They hot about what just happened. But like literally almost 10 minutes go by. I'm like, something is up. And then the dude who had the Honda CR-V, I noticed I had a few loose things. And mind you, the flight that I was going to catch from Boston to Raleigh, literally I picked the cheapest flight package. I don't need a carry-on. I'm trying to save every dollar because they're supposed to take my bags. But there was a few loose ends I wanted to put back in their car because they might tell me it's too big for a personal item on the flight. I opened the back seat when the back door, when they parked in front in the parking lot, and I put some things on the floor passenger area behind the driver's seat, and I hear he on the car, Bluetooth on the sound system in his car, talking to the brother that decides where they're gonna go, and he's the person that contacted me to join them in Maine in the first place. So I hear them say my name, and there's like he already has his flight. And mind you, I talked with this person back in Maine on Saturday, so he knew my flight is booked. I told the people that when my arrival is in North Carolina. So he's like, his flight is booked. So that's when I know. I'm like, hold up, y'all plotting against me so I can get thrown out of the group. I was like, if y'all change my group, I want to hear it from you as a man, face to face, before you leave this parking lot. Don't try and cat on me and send a phone message. And the dude who was driving, the leader of the group, the Pakistani one, he was like, inshallah. And you know when somebody say inshallah, because they ain't got the courage to tell the truth, and they're lying. I was like, don't say inshallah, lie. Be real about it. So they left anyway. So anyway, my train was supposed to leave Maine at 1:45 p.m. that day. And this was like around 10 a.m. or something. So we just left that place 4 a.m. I slept like 2-3 hours the night before, so I'm tired. I'm trying to get a nap. They pray Dhuhr in that city like 11:45 a.m. So after that, the Somali uncle, he's one of the sheikhs at a masjid. Man, he said it would sound better if you understood him in Somali language. But he was like, Khuruj, man, your Arabic is so sharp. You should just get you an Arab wife. The way you was roasting in their language. I was like, nah, it ain't even like that, man. So anyway, he let me stay in the office of his masjid because it's like a quiet, dark place. I can get a nap because in the prayer hall they have Quran class. So I lie down a little bit. I turn my phones off, save battery, and I don't have to think about no incoming notifications. So what happened? I get up before the Dhuhr adhan, like 11 something, and then just before, like between the adhan and the iqamah, I look at my phone for incoming notification. I got like 4 missed calls from like 2 numbers of an area code that ended up being some people in New York. Then one of them left me a voicemail, one of them sent me a text message. And these are exact words. He was like, I'm the, appointed Amir of the week for this New York, Da'wah Center Markaz. And we have decided, and this is exact word, we have decided in the best interest of the betterment of deen that you leave this group and find your own way. So I didn't even respond at that time. I'm like, look, I gotta focus on my Dhuhr Salah. I prayed my Dhuhr Salah. I talked to the uncle, the mu'adhin of the masjid, who was gonna drop me at the train station like in a little bit. I was like, look, uncle, give me till 12:30, I gotta settle something. So I walk away from the masjid to like this place. It's right on the pier, and they got like this cafe with outdoor chairs. So I'll take the call from there. And the first thing I thought to myself, I was like, look, these people talking about the betterment of deen. Like sometimes people use these cliche terms, umbrella terms, titles, slogans, and it ain't got no resemblance of it. And I told him, I was like, look, if you want to talk about the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people say all around the ummah, especially in the announcements of the people of Tabligh. And I'm not saying this to like criticize them, I'm just saying live up to your word. The success of this world and the next lies in following the commandments of Allah and the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the ways besides the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam lead to failure in this life and the next. The only way to success in this life and the next is the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I was like, look what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Ali radiallahu anhu when he sent him to Yemen as a judge. He said, لا تقضين بين خصمين حتى تسمع من الآخر كما سمعت من الأول. He said, don't judge between two quarreling or adversary parties until you hear from the second like you heard from the first. And this is the thing. This person, he got his flaws, but this is a cultural phenomenon that I have witnessed from I was Yeha till now all around the world. That part of the world, the South Asians, illa ma rahimullah, when they want somebody to advocate on their behalf for the person that they might have even wronged, it doesn't mean that person wronged them. They could have wronged that person. That person goes directly to the person who violated them and speaks to them, as that's part of the sunnah. And then what happens? They go behind their back, involve 5, 10, 15 other people, tell them a bogus story that's not even honest, and then think this person will come now and put this person straight. So anyway, I know that's their culture, but I didn't bring up their culture. I just said in the sunnah, why didn't you come here my side? You don't even know if that's true. You're making a whole decision of something that's not even honest. The other thing is, when they do stuff like that dude took that private car in the parking lot a few feet away from me. If there was 100% male, if there was a straight up man, you say that with me hearing, because you confident it's true, but you're gonna do that behind the person's back. Why? Because you know it's not true, and you know if you was confident about it, it wouldn't matter if I heard it or not, because Allah is a witness. So anyway, I told that person on the phone who was the whatever designated Amir, I'm like, look at how much anger, hawa, caprice, nafs gets in the way. These people was complaining for me putting my own stuff in my own bag while they sitting comfortably in a car. They was eating breakfast. They was praying inside. They came out, start hollering about wasting their time. Think how much time they're gonna waste now. They just seen me put my stuff in their car. They didn't stop me then. They gonna continue driving to Maryland, and on the way they wanna call some third man and say we don't want this person with us. So they taking my suitcases with them, bro. I got medicine in there, I got insulin in there, I got private stuff in there. So what is the logic of that? Why did they go through all that, not even think of their own interest? They complaining of 10 hours. How many hours is this going to take now? So the person that was, the kind of, you could say whatever, what's that word? Mediator or, what's it called? Reconciler. He was like, no, they can't go with your stuff. This was like 12 p.m. Eastern time when I was targeted, 12:30. He was like, around this time, they pass in Boston. You gonna take your train to Boston anyway. We gonna tell them, go to that masjid with Nasser stuff, put it there, make sure every last thing of his is there. Wallahi, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, these people is so mad and hot. I'm not even surprised if they out of injustice and transgression just say, hell no, we ain't turning back for this man. We gonna keep going, and we don't care about his stuff. So they was like, don't worry, we're gonna make sure they leave it there. So anyway, I get on the train, I pull up to like, downtown Boston area, a little bit around Maghrib on Sunday. It was like 4:15 p.m. When I'm on the train, I text the driver, I'm like, look, according to so-and-so, y'all gonna leave this stuff at this address. This is the contact, can you please confirm? He like, yeah. Then when he got there, he took a photo of where he put in the masjid. He's like, all that stuff we left for you, and it took us this long to turn around. I'm like, you want me to like feel sympathetic for you? You the one that put yourself in this hole. You the one that want me to leave. You the one that drove off with my stuff, and then complain to somebody else and say, you should let him stay with us. And then what you gonna do? You gonna put my stuff on eBay? You gotta leave it somewhere. And then he told you where to leave it. You want me to feel sympathetic? And the whole time I'm just trying to put my bags and get on the train and get on the plane, and y'all over here can't care, bro. Wallahi, bro, I was like, man, Allah tests people, but it's not even worth it. When you find out somebody's true colors, it's not a big surprise, you know. I go off. I don't try to give people more credit than that's owed to them. I don't try to give them less. But at a baseline, as a Muslim, as a human being, Bani Adam, I think there's a certain level of across the world, international culture, and type of conduct, a type of character, a type of, ethics, morals, adab you should have. And these people, they done shown, bruh, it was something else. So anyway, on the train in Boston, I hit up the person that's like the point of contact here. I'm like, look, man, I came out for my own self. I ain't had this chance since 3 years ago, 2022. I came back from Lahore, Pakistan. 2023, when I tried to go, I had my Achilles torn because a dude kicked me in a basketball game. Never seen a dirty play like that. The day before he kicked my leg and I tore my Achilles, I had my intention to go in December 2023. I was at home for like dang near 8 months recovering. 2024, I try to get ready, and the person in Bay Area, Richmond, Da'wah Marcus, he was like, yo, you should go to South Africa. I was ready to go, bruh, in like less than 6 weeks. No, it was like 5 weeks, 30 some days. I got 3 car accidents. All of them hit me. It had nothing to do with it. Wasn't my fault. Never in my life that happened. It took me so long till now. Today is what, November 26th. That's the first time that claim finished from what they did to my car. So I don't know how this insurance company is in business. They insured the person that crashed my car. But anyway, now I finally got to go out. I'm going for 2 weeks, and I get shown like the worst Adab ever, bro. The worst Adab ever. I'm like, I can't go home because Allah gonna see who's truthful and who's not. Allah gonna send stuff your way. You gonna say you wanna serve, you wanna get close to Allah. Okay, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if that happened? And then if you make it circumstantial, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انقلب على وجهه خسر الدنيا والآخرة ذلك هو الخسران المبين. The ayah Surah Al-Hajj was revealed, I believe it was in Mecca. Some of the Bedouin tribes, they was trying to make the Shahada circumstantial. They said, if we become Muslim and we don't see rain, we don't see increase in our, our livestock, our children, our sons, our wealth, then, if we see an increase, we're going to stay Muslim. But if we lose that, we're going to turn out and we're going to turn back on our heels and renegade. So Allah said there's some people that worship Allah on the edge, on the side. If some good comes their way, they're content with it. If some fitna comes their way, they turn back on their heels. Allah said they lost the dunya and the akhirah. That is the clear, plain loss. So anyway, that's how I got to Boston. Well, I just laugh about it, man. But there's one thing, and man, the more I stay to it, I don't know if it's tawfiq from Allah. I don't know if I got, I gotta, what they say, pick your battles, or, know when to engage and when not to engage. But for the last, I think I know this since beginning 2023. I was like, look, I'm not here to look for arguments, disagreements, but when somebody violates the rights of another person, a Muslim, I'm not even here to talk about the individual rights of Allah. That somebody, if they violate the other person's rights, I'm going to speak on it in light of the Sharia. It don't matter their status, their age, their whatever reputation. It don't matter. Because on the day of judgment, مَن يَعْمَلْ سُوءًا يُجْزَ بِهِ. Whoever does evil, Allah, He said, they're going to be recompensed with it. Ibn Abbas said that's the scariest ayah in the Quran. Or I think it was Ibn Mas'ud said that. It's the scariest ayah in the Quran. So anyway, since beginning 23, when I speak up about it, it's like throughout time, like they exponentially, like different people, different events, some people I know for a long time. We had 10 years plus friendship, brotherhood. They make a wrong decision on behalf of the community, you speak to them, bro, the amount of slander that has happened, I don't let it faze me, because it's about principles. It's not about people. People ain't nothing without principles. If people don't got values and principles, there's no point in recognizing it. The Shafi'i said, "Wallahi lawla al-ilm wat-tuqa lam yakun lil-mar'i i'tibaran li dhatihi." So if it's not for ilm and taqwa, righteousness, people don't have no need to be recognized. What's the point of recognizing that? So anyway, it's throughout time. It ain't been that long. It's almost 3 years. But like, the more I stand valiantly for these things, the worse and worse and worse people treat. And I still don't feel fazed. Why? Because I want them. If I go out of line, tell me. I'm not here to tell you who's you to talk to me like this. I'm nothing without obeying Allah. I'm nothing. So anyway, I didn't even mean to make this story that long, but that was just funny, bro. It was just hella fun. To me, I was just laughing. I was laughing how I see somebody do this. And then the whole thing, the first thing the dude texts me about, he's like, we should forgive each other, da da da. I was like, bro, why are you worrying about my forgiveness? Think about Allah's forgiveness. If you don't even know the grievance the violation you did in Allah's Sharia, you just gonna keep repeating it. I'm here to tell you, I'm not even done 2-3 sentences explaining, and it's like, no, let's forgive each other. I'm like, you forgive me. What? Who is you, bro? You over here reckless. You over here like, subhanallah, ain't got no understanding of masalih and mafasid, pros and cons, disadvantages, advantages, mafsada. And I'm over here telling you on that instance that you chose. I'm not here to tell you as a person everything you do is wrong. When you choose something wrong and I tell you about it, learn and adjust. But I don't know, man. Allah knows best. But I thank Allah, man. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us, or guide us, and give us sincerity for Him, and give us good companions, righteous companions, and save us from the evil of all His creation, the evil of ourselves. May He give us steadfastness, may He elevate our ranks, and make us the ones who truly rely on Him. Ameen. Subhanakallah wa bihamdih. Shalla la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.